Okay, so thank you for letting us join and give you a few minutes to share some of just the tech tools that Dr. Matherson and I are aware of. Do you guys see my screen? Okay, good, good. I don't have nearly as many slides as the previous presenters do, but I've kind of curated just a small list of a few technology tools that I've kind of seen used out there in a variety of different teaching scenarios. And one thing I want to say about all of these tools is they have kind of a different purpose or a different twist for achieving the same result, and that is what the previous presenters were talking about, which is student engagement in the classroom. And one thing I want to point out, which I think could be very useful, is many of these tools, if not all of them, you could use them in a variety of the different teaching formats that you might find yourself in, whether that's face-to-face, a hybrid course, or a strictly online course. A lot of these tools could be useful in any of those different scenarios. So you can kind of see here, if you will just take a look down this list, I'm just giving you a little bit of a description of what the different tools do. First off, Kahoot. I know Kahoot is something that is widely used out in K-12 instruction, but there actually is a higher ed version of Kahoot that is out there. And if you're not familiar with Kahoot, it is a really, it's a really fun way to engage students in some form of assessment. Essentially, it creates interactive assessments, whether that's in a quiz format, whether that's just in some type of a review format. That's essentially what Kahoot is for. They can be embedded in lectures. So if you have some lecture content and you want to create Kahoot-like assessment questions, you can actually do that. As you can see here, they talk about the different features of how Kahoot can be used, whether that's getting student opinions, breaking the ice, motivating attendance, engaging those in presentations. They're all there. Now, Kahoot is free. Now, obviously, they do, I think, have a premium version, but they do have a free version that is available for everyone. But this is an example of what Kahoot looks like. It is a very simple, easy to use program where essentially you create the different Kahoot sets, and you can choose what type of question formats you want to use. You can assign point values to the different questions, and then you just enter in the different answer choices, indicating which is the correct answer. You can import PowerPoint slides or Google Slides into Kahoot so that you don't necessarily have to recreate everything from scratch, which is also very helpful. Then you can kind of preview the Kahoot and see what it's going to look like from the presentation point of view. But then you can just you just start the Kahoot, and then students can use either an app on their phone or they can go to a website. You can embed it in your learning management system, however you want to do it. Then students can kind of engage with Kahoot. Flipgrid is something we talked about in the spring, but I do want to bring it up again because Flipgrid is a tremendously helpful tool. And I know we had some of our faculty when we had to shift online instruction in the spring who utilized Flipgrid. And I heard some really good success stories. If you're not familiar, or if you just haven't taken if you haven't had an opportunity to use Flipgrid yet, Flipgrid is a different way in which to spark student discussion. It is a asynchronous online discussion portal. So essentially, you as the instructor of a Flipgrid group, which Flipgrid is free as well, you would create what they call a grid. And a grid is just simply a community. So you can think of a grid as maybe one of your courses or a section of your course. And then within those grids, you can create as many different topics as you want. These different topics, you can add a whole variety of different resources, whether that's streaming video, documents, presentations. So maybe you put some of your online PowerPoints or Google Slides embedded into these different topics. And then you can push this out to the students in your class, and then they can all record responses to the different discussion topics. And they can actually respond to their fellow students as well. And you can have this exchange of ideas back and forth using video which is a really handy thing. I have seen a tremendous amount of use of Flipgrid in a variety of different settings, and it's been tremendous. Let's see, I'm gonna go back to my slide here. Quizlet, just very quickly, is another quiz creation tool. Quizlet allows you to create a variety of just different quizzes that can be pushed out online. You can import from various sources here like Google Docs, Microsoft Word, Excel, whatever you need. Quizlet does allow you to kind of retrieve student responses and download that into like spreadsheets if you did want to capture student performance, or if you're just using it more of a formative type assessment, you would just simply create the different quiz questions and then you would push that out to your students. The last one that I'll really kind of share with you, I mean, you've seen my list right here. Poll Everywhere is just a way to poll your students. Google Forms has really grown over the last few years and become a really, really handy either as a tool for either creating quizzes, tests, or surveys. You can do all those things within Google Forms just by having a Google account. But the last one I'll kind of show you is PairDeck. PairDeck is actually what you see on this Google slide right here. PairDeck is it is a Google Chrome extension. So it is just a free tool that you add into your Google Chrome browser. So you can see I'm in Google Slides right now, and I can go to the add-ons area, and you will see that I have an add-on labeled PairDeck for Google Slides. It's a way to kind of make your slide presentations interactive. So we know, I mean, everybody uses some form of slide presentations at some point in time. This is just a way to kind of make those a little bit more interactive so that hopefully that they are a little bit more engaging. So you can kind of let your mind run wild as to how you could kind of integrate something like this into some of your presentations. And let's see, I was actually going to get into a PairDeck. Oh yeah, I was actually on it. So let me go back here. So what you can do is you just simply go to the add-ons, and I'm going to open the PairDeck add-on within Google Slides. And if you're not a Google Slide user, you're a PowerPoint user, that's fine. You can import your PowerPoints into Google Slides. But what it allows you to do is to create different types of questions, whether it's text, multiple choice, numeric. You can embed websites. You can actually draw, but you embed these directly into your presentations. And you can actually insert audio into your presentations that are part of the different questions that you do. But then you just click Start a Lesson. And what I was talking about earlier, when you do this, you can actually create material for either asynchronous, in PairDeck they'd say this is a student paced mode, or for synchronous instruction where you, the instructor, in real time are controlling the PairDeck lesson that you're pushing out. And again, when you do this, you can put this into many different modes of delivery, whether that's through Blackboard, you can send out links through Zoom, or on a course page that you use somewhere else. You've got a whole lot of different options for doing that. So I'll kind of stop there, and then I'll let Dr. Matherson weigh in.
Thank you, Dr. Harden.
Stop sharing my screen.
Yeah, so let me share mine. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I see a lot of people online that I know are very technology based. They probably have many tools that they could share as well. You should be seeing my desktop right now. But just a few to kind of piggyback off of some of what Dr. Fowler and Dr. Major talked about. I think Dr. Fowler was talking about maybe doing like a scavenger hunt, and a perfect tool to do that is Goosechase. You can create a scavenger hunt. You can run it synchronous or asynchronous to where students can participate. It's even if you wanted to do a formative assessment, on a test or a quiz, they could participate in a Goosechase and return the results to you. It's fun. I mean, even adults, I was in a PLG a few weeks ago with like about 500 teachers from around the state, and it was very competitive to find the answers and earn the most points. So it's very easy to build, and it's very easy to launch for students to participate in. And it's, it's just a great activity to be involved in. So that's, that's a really good tool to kind of accompany what Dr. Harden talked about with like Flipgrid and some other ways to do. Also, another good tool, and you probably noticed from Dr. Major's PowerPoint, it's really good to kind of be light and have, some pictures or graphics for students. Students are visual learners. I know I'm a visual learner. So when you have some type of graphic or picture there for the students, it helps them connect, it helps keep their attention, and it just, helps them think back. So one great tool you can use to do that is Removebg, and it literally will take a picture, remove that background, and then you can put it in, new backgrounds, be creative and have fun. And I know Dr. Colley would like this because we all have cats that look just alike. So, we can, make our Leos and Lilies the star of our PowerPoints. Another tool that would kind of go along with what Dr. Major was talking about, and I actually got these from her, but is a place called Unsplash, to where you can have free high resolution resources or pictures that you can insert. Another one is Pixabi, that you can, get stock images or royal, free images, so that you can do that, because I know when we want to model, proper procedures in terms of putting pictures there that are not copywritten. Okay. As we go more remotely, students are going to, maybe not be in the classroom. They're going to have things that they need to send you. They may not have that scanning printer at the house, but there are several ways that they could scan documents and send to you. One of them, if they want to download this, and it is, something that they can put in on their phone, whether they have an iOS system or, another system like Google Play. But they can, just basically snap the picture, scan it in as a document. Of course, if they have an iOS system, they can literally just take a picture and it will recognize it as a document and allow them to scan. But this way it gives them that ability to, scan, convert those documents, whatever they need, that will also help them organize. All right, and then two that I want to finish up with very quickly is this one is Kazenza, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But as we provide feedback to our students, we all know that we can, sort of right click and put that comment on student documents, but it takes time to, type and write what we want to say. So sometimes we can say it quicker, and with our voice reflection, students get a better meaning from it. And so here's a voice tool that will allow that. You can, do this through this thing. I think, as Dr. Harden said, you can use Google Docs, and there's an option in Google Docs to do that. And I'm sure there are other, voice tools out there that will allow you to provide that feedback. But I know they like to have that verbal feedback, and I've done that, several semesters with documents with online teaching. And then the last one I just want to touch base on is a back channel chat. I used to be a big user of Today's Meet, but it no longer exists. So back channel is sort of an easy replacement. And you have two options here. You can try for free, but it only allows you to do 30 students. Or if you want to pay, $15 a year, you can have 50 students, or, do what teachers do in terms of the free version, use a lot of Gmail addresses. So you can, have 3 or 4 of those, and you can, maybe take care of all your classes. But those are just a few tools that, that I wanted to share, just to kind of help. And I know, Dr. Harden and I are always around if you, want to bounce ideas off or share tools. We're, willing to take them. Dr. Harden has the, the interactive tech lab in Graves, that he can help with. I'm sure he's also happy to Zoom with you and help with those. I know some others, Jeff Price here on my screen right now. So, he's a great tech brain too. So, the main thing with each and every one of us is just helping each other out. So, be collaborative. And that's all I have.